Could you manage to get your workout in if all you had was nature? Well, that's exactly what I wanted to find out. So I spent an entire week only training with nature. What were the surprising benefits and the surprising downsides? Let's find out.
But you gotta focus.
Day 1, starting with a jog in the woods to warm up for calisthenics, only using nature. I was planning to do full body and wanted to incorporate pull-ups, so my entire jog was dedicated to trying to find a low enough and sturdy enough tree branch to do pull-ups on. However, after vicariously running through the woods, surprisingly I was having trouble locating an ample tree branch.
Yo, I could use that as a pull-up bar right there. There's no way that would hold.
Meet tip. Before climbing any tree, it's a good idea to always check around where you're going to grab, just in case there's something like a nail sticking out. A lot of the times people like to nail papers or signs to trees, and sometimes the nail will protrude and blend in with the tree, and you might put your hand around it, which would be very bad, so always check.
Too angular.
So yes, I was having a difficult time finding a tree branch sufficient to do pull-ups on, so I figured I'd save the search for later and just do the bulk of the workout before I'd tire myself out jogging around the woods all day.
All kinds of poop. I'm not looking to get a disease, so I'm gonna try to find a clean area to do Bodyweight Beast 2.0.
Bodyweight Beast 2.0, my 12-week calisthenics program. Use code FOCUS at the checkout to get 20% off. Thank you all so much for your positive feedback on this. Anyways, choosing a full body workout day from this program, as epic as this felt to work out in the woods, I was noticing a few potential hazards.
Oh man. Glass.
An abundance of mysterious animal droppings, and man-crafted sharp objects hidden under nature.
Mushrooms.
Not wanting to get a cut or a disease or both, it was wise to be cautious while placing my hands during these exercises. Running through the multitude of sets of this workout, some benefits of working out in nature that I was noticing was the fresh air, the beautiful scenery, and the solitude.
I'm gonna go try to find a lower branch so I can do the pull-up section of this workout. Yeah, all the branches are like a little too high for my liking right now. Theoretically, I could probably do it, but I'm not falling out of a tree today, no thanks.
Luckily, about a half-mile away, I was able to find an ample tree to do pull-ups on. And after knocking out several sets according to the program, barely hitting the beginner reps due to fatigue, I was done.
I am toast, honestly. Shouldn't have saved that for the end, but I just couldn't find a branch in the woods. Hands are not only dirty, but they're definitely feeling that stimulation from all these rough surfaces. Kind of like the whole bigger hand training idea that I said I was going to reapproach, but I haven't. So I kind of lost all that conditioning. And well, yeah, now it's been quite a shock doing these pull-ups, doing the push-ups, all the other calisthenics in the dirt. A little bit weird, a little bit awkward, but I'm no stranger to training outside and just powering through this. I would say that was a pretty successful workout. Gonna jog it out for like 2 minutes or so, shake it out, and then see y'all tomorrow for day 2.
So on day 2, I was actually really fatigued and somewhat sore from the first day, so I decided to take it easy, work through some mobility, and do some yoga in nature. This felt pretty good, but I didn't want to overdo it because my primary objective was to charge up for day 3, where I wanted to try something new. Day 3, feeling recharged, ready to lift. I was back deep in the woods, this time ideally looking for logs or fallen branches that would act as nature's barbell. But once again, to my surprise, I was having a difficult time. For crying out loud, I'm in the woods, there should be a ton of branches, logs, etc. What was going on? Well, it turned out most of the natural fallen wood was oddly shaped. Either too big, too small, or had been sitting there for a long time in a muddy environment and became moldy.
Yeah. Nope. Oh man. I shouldn't have watched that, like, what happened to this kid after he ate that slug video before I came out here. So now I'm just like mortified.
Frustration aside, it was beautiful out, and I ended up finding this interesting anomaly tree stump and tree trunk combo that seemed like it was perfectly set up for me to do bench dips on. So I knocked out a few nature epic sets of these before continuing my search for that perfect log.
Man, I need the buff dudes to make me a gym in here. Getting a little pump here.
Almost what I was looking for, but not quite. And then...
Dude, this might do. Oh yeah.
I finally found a branch good enough to do curls with.
Oh, I'm so happy I found a log that isn't totally moldy. So this one side's heavier, so what you do is you switch. Yeah. To keep it even.
Now it was a little on the light side, so I knocked out 15 reps for 6 total sets, switching sides on the logs to keep the right and left arm balanced because the log was uneven. Finishing up with some different variations of push-ups, and I was done.
Oh, look at that, mosquito. Mosquito's trying to inject itself into my hat. But yeah, I think it was a good thing I wore this hat because stuff was dropping from the trees. Some kind of ladybug looking thing, like an egg looking thingy. Honestly, most of this workout was searching for things to lift. So I guess I got some good cardio. That did not go as planned, but got it done nevertheless. That's that.
Since day 3 was primarily upper body, day 4 was dedicated to legs. Starting with overhead dumbbell lunges, replacing the dumbbell with a stone. Avoiding obstacles, I lunged my way through the forest. Not only challenging my quads, but my coordination as well. On top of this, I threw in some front stone squats, some overhead stone squats, the occasional hill sprint, and even some plyometrics.
What's out there? Kind of reminds me of the movie Fern Gully. If you know, you know.
To my pleasant surprise, my legs were feeling pretty pumped after a few random sets of these exercises. Now, as much fun as it looked like I was having, I was still being constantly distracted by the various elements of the forest. The mud, the bugs, the uneven surface, things falling on my head. And I know this is gonna sound a little weird, but like the moisture, like everything was just moist, which combined with my sweat was just feeling very uncomfortable. Look out for that moisture, bro, it's everywhere. With all of these constant distractions and unknowns going on, I ended up only being in the woods doing legs for 25 minutes, and this made me realize something.
It's kind of making me realize, you know how everyone's always like, oh, nature, nature, nature. Well, it's like when you get into real nature, it's like nature isn't always trying to just like cuddle you. And this is like the most G-rated nature ever, if I'm thinking about it. This isn't even like a jungle or anything, it's just some woods. Oh, my legs. Oh, my legs. Oh. For instance, I'm sitting on this man-made polymer park bench. There's some kind of crazy alarm going off. Listening to music, I'm feeling much more relaxed than I was in the woods. It's like common sense tells me I should know this. You know, sitting in a puddle of bugs would be uncomfortable, but it's like when you get in the mindset of like, ooh, more nature, more better, it's like you want to think more is always better. It's like, you know, we are kind of nature, aren't we? And in being natural, we have designed and built our own habitats. And yeah, we kind of got carried away on some ideas, which may harm us, but I don't know, man. I'm just saying right here, right now on this man-made stuff, I'm feeling pretty good. I feel like I could probably get a better workout just on this like turf than I did in the woods. But then is working out even natural? Oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
So was I just soft, a human used to comforts of the modern world? Or are those comforts perhaps a strength that allow us to focus on other things? Or maybe perhaps there's a middle ground, a balance. What could be that balance, and could it be subjective for each individual? Well, one thing I noticed, being out in the probably man-planted grass in the sun, I had a spontaneous boost of energy. So just having fun, I ended up messing around with some various calisthenics on some nature. I guess you could say filling in the blanks and just kind of experimenting, enjoying myself outside. Could perhaps this kind of environment be the favorable terrain for myself? Or was this just some kind of middle ground that the soft, modern human such as myself has become comfortable with? One thing is for certain, this experience started to open up all of these philosophical questions.
Alright, I need my shoe back, bud. Yeah, I need my shoe back. Come on, bud. Oh, there you go. Be free. Little did it know it was this close. That close.
Well, from what I can tell, it looks like it's...
Okay.
So I'm actually taking today as a complete rest day. I'm inside in the comforts of this shelter right now, lounging around. But one thing I've been getting into that totally relates to this video is bushcraft. I've been watching a ton of bushcraft videos. They're so freaking interesting and cool, but it has me thinking. I'm wondering if tomorrow I could rig up some sort of bushcraft gym machine.
I've got some ideas.
Kind of too light.
Ouch! There you go. So I will leave that workout up to your discretion. Anyways, finally it was day 7, and it was time to finish this challenge with legs. And something very promising that I took from the previous experiment, if you listen, I wasn't having any knee cracking, and that was without even thinking about flexing my adductors. Thumbs up for that extra ROM training from the last video. And speaking of ROM training, I continued this warm-up with some of those chocolate chip scooper squats. After an ample warm-up, because it was the last day, I was intending to go hard. I started with 3 sets of 20 rock lunges, followed by 5 sets of 10 reps of jump front squat push presses with the rock, supersetted with 10 regular front squats with the rock. Doing a burnout set of 29 front squats. Man, what happened there? Nature did it, bro. And then from here, I decided I randomly wanted to train a little bit of grip. Doing some tree trunk holds. As silly as they look, I am telling you, these work really well.
Oh man, that is so hard.
And then back to legs, 3 sets of 15 rock Romanian deadlifts, not so much focusing on the hypertrophy, but rather the stretch in the hamstrings, for super tight hamstrings are a weak point of mine. After this, some risque single leg squats by the lake. I only did 2 sets of 4 on each leg. Next, 3 sets of 25 calf raises on a route. It worked pretty well. And then 5 hill sprints up this little hill. And after that, I was done.
Well, that was fun, but can't wait to go back to the gym. I will see you all for the results. Yeah, we done.
So much nature in only 1 week. Did I make any gains? Lose any gains? How will I react when I go back to the gym? What are my final thoughts? Some other things I potentially learned?
Nature.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the results. No gym, no equipment, just nature. Yet Tarzan was the most jacked being in all of the jungle. That was an alternative beginning. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, did 1 week of only training in the wood yield any results? Physically or mentally? Well, first let's check the physical. Anyways, looking at these side-by-sides, I am actually a pound up. Looks like somehow I found a way to eat more in the woods. I don't think that's related to training in the woods. I think I just either ate a little more or just maybe was a little more bloated in this after photo, just a natural variance of some sort. But yeah, other than looking slightly a little bit bloated, everything else seems about the same. One thing I was trying to emphasize here is my wrist actually felt like they were stimulated, like the girth of them felt like they were stimulated, kind of like doing bigger wrist training when I was doing that a lot more consistently. And that was probably from all of the grip involved when it comes to like holding a tree trunk and doing pull-ups on those uneven surfaces and whatnot. And also my hands felt stimulated as well, like the roughness, the toughness, probably once again from all the gritty surfaces. Now, other than that, the biggest takeaway point I got from this experiment was more philosophical. I know that sounds so nerdy, but really for me it was like this 1-2. You know, I'm kind of a guy who likes to do things as natural as possible. I feel like that is usually paired with health and longevity. However, when actually diving into more deep nature rather than just like the groomed nature-like surfaces that we provide for ourselves, it gets a little more rugged out there. And I'm certain anyone who's like a bushcraft person or someone who goes camping, etc., knows that, you know, that's why you have all this equipment to protect yourself from the elements. Now, I'm certain there are places on Earth where it is just very, very nice and calm, peaceful naturally. But yeah, other than that, going into your average woods, I mean, there's a lot of different elements that aren't the most comfortable, let's just put it that way, like excessive moisture, bugs, animals. I mean, I didn't even run into any animals, but like animals, I've watched some videos recently of like animals actually like attacking people in the woods, and it's like, wow. It's funny, I feel like a lot of us who are living in, you know, our shelters, our houses, and living the modern life are just kind of almost like naive to like what maybe real nature is like, or just average nature, let's just put it that way, is like. I'm certain, like I said, there's some spots that are just absolutely bliss, but it's like nature ain't always just trying to cuddle you, like I said. But then again, that brings me around to another point. It's like, have we just become soft living in our own like shelters that we make and becoming so comfortable year after year after year that regular nature seems harsh? It's like, would it not seem harsh if we were actually living out in nature? And then that brings me to like another question. We work out because we want to maintain or improve our physical shape or performance or etc. But that's maybe because we live in like a comfortable place. If we actually were trying to survive out in nature, could just survival be its own workout? You know, working out, is that just kind of like a man-crafted silly thing to begin with? I thought about it for a second and it's like, yeah, that totally makes sense. It's actually kind of silly. And you kind of go down the realm of like, oh yeah, what's the point? It doesn't make any sense. But then I thought about it some more. I went a little deeper and it's like, well, hold on a second. We created these shelters and all of the systems we have in place so that we are so comfortable and so spoiled to the point where we can make choices and choose to do more things that we want to do rather than just having to survive out in the wilds. We have more like freedom almost to do what we want. And it's like, if you want to go lift and move these man-made objects in order to stimulate the body in a certain way, whether it's pointless to others or not, it's like you have the freedom to do that because of all these comforts and amenities that we have made over the years and put in place in this technology, and it's nuts. But now I do understand, you know, it's like there are some parts to the modern world that have been taken maybe too far, obviously, and things have been twisted and turned, but I guess what I'm getting at is it just kind of made me think about this deeper and find more of like this middle ground rather than being like so one way or the other. What do you guys think about this stuff? I love to read your comments. I want to just say right now, I appreciate the detailed comments. I appreciate even just the little comments from you. Yeah, I hope I made sense with that explanation here. Went a little bit down the rabbit hole. I hope you guys all have a great day. Thank you all so much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and turn those notifications on. Peace. I will see you all in the next video.